separate beds. I'm going to go ahead and move out fully tomorrow morning. So she texts me that, and I read it, and I literally I was like, there's no way. There's no way, right? And she.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. We're talking to you guys about Michaela and Zach, and I've called this one, Zach calls out on Michaela's bluff, and she ends up leaving the home. We're going to talk a little bit about Michaela's behavior, but we're also going to talk about Zach as well, because I think this is a two-sided affair in this situation, right? Michaela tried to call the bluff by, I didn't say call the bluff, tried to play her card by saying we can sleep in separate beds now. After we had just spoken about where we're going, cool. And then when he decides, okay, cool, if you want to say I want to sleep in separate beds, I'm going to go home. So what does she do? She's got to do one up, right? And all of that is because of her abandonment issues. Rightly so. And so what has happened is this is the second time she's done this, right? Which is why I'm saying that this behavior has a pattern to it. We're no longer going to excuse the behavior and call it as her just emotionally reacting. We're seeing abusive patterns come up time and time and time again. But I'm going to break it down in this video and you'll understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Now, by the end of it, you might agree, you may disagree. But let's keep it culture, let's keep it kosher in the comment section, I'm saying. And let's have a conversation without killing one another. All right. So those of you who are new to this channel, do me a massive favor. We're on the road to 100K, baby. All right. Listen, like it, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification on the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. You already know what it is, baby. Stay hydrated. Why? Because the streets out there are hot. All right. Before we go any further, let's get the intro going, baby. Little Black Book. You know what time it is. All right. So, I'm going to be breaking down a lot of different scenes in different videos. So, this is just one part of the scene I'm going to be breaking out. But in this particular scene, I want to go a little bit back because we started here, but I want to go to the actual argument, okay, where we have a situation going on, okay? And we're going to start from there. And what I want to say is this. Look, I see both sides, right? So, Zach also was frustrated by the fact that she didn't want to be in the same bed. And he then decided, okay, I'm going to go home then, right? That was his little ploy. I'm going to go home then, right? He's frustrated. He's annoyed. He's going to go home. And I would call it a childish move, right? Because yes, I'm sure the second bed might not be that comfy, but you're telling me you couldn't sleep in that bed? Come on, sir. Come on. You could have slept in that bed, right? And this is why we need Zach to be honest, because he's not being honest. He's still trying to he's living slightly in a fairyland. And because of that fairyland tale, let me not say fairyland, but what I want to say is he's refusing to be honest with himself that this isn't going to work. What he's doing right now is trying to make it work. And every time there's even a little hint of madness, he runs away because he knows it's not going to work. This is why he shouldn't be still there, right? And so he now, in that reaction that he has where he says he's going to go to his house, we've heard that before too. He runs away from the conflict, right? Because you should have literally just stayed in the yard and slept on the couch or slept on the second bed. At the same time, too, I never understand this thing too. Like, whose bed is it that people are kicking people out? You know what I'm saying? One of you should, if you felt like the bed was not comfy, why didn't she go on the second bed? You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't you request for her to go on the second bedroom? Why did she? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's just for the night, why didn't she go to the second room and you go to the first room? Do you know what I mean? None of that conversation we saw anyway happened. All right, but let's break it down a little bit and then we'll discuss what I'm meaning by this thing.
Not going great.
Yo, do you not see an upward?
Oh, hold on. Let's go slightly more back. Okay.
It definitely hurts if we don't sleep in the same bed.
What's wrong with that? What does it matter?
Now, I don't know if you heard the conversation. It's like he's saying, obviously, not sleeping in the same bed hurts. She said, what does it matter? I actually saw both sides here again, and I actually saw more of Michaela's point here than I saw of his. If we both said that when it comes to decision day, okay, that we both said no, right? And I'm gonna show you the evidence of this. They both said no. We both said no to the fact that if it's decision day today, we both say no and we go our separate ways, right? I can also understand why Michaela's like, well, then you don't have to sleep in my bed, right? But then if you say don't sleep in my bed, that also tells me that you are trying to say that you don't see it in the future at all. Because what you're doing is you're canceling. You're saying, I don't even want to even go there. I don't even want to be in the same bed as you now. Now I can't see it at all. I don't even see the potential. So go sleep in your own side of the bed. I'll sleep in mine. And that is fair enough for her prerogative, right? That's fair enough for her prerogative. I don't think that was the motivation. And I think that's the key thing here. It's not the fact that she made a request to go and sleep in the bed. I think the motivation behind it, what was it? I believe the motivation of that was a one-up, right? It was salty. It was hurt. She was feeling hurt by the fact he said no. I know she said, sometimes people say no, but don't really mean no. Just like when she said, when he said he's going to leave, she didn't want him to leave, right? But didn't say it at the time. Sometimes people do stuff and then or they say something and don't really mean what they say, right? They do the opposite of what they actually said. So in that scenario where they're both saying no, I think and this is my personal view, the motivation behind her saying no was a punishment for him. And we've seen this before with Michaela, right? In the earlier aspects of it. This was a punishment for him. Okay, we're both saying no, I'm punishing you. Right? Because Michaela, remember earlier on, Michaela's saying that she wants to see this happen, but she can't see him wanting it. So now we're both at the table, and bear in mind they both said no. Okay, I'm feeling like when I'm watching, I'm like, I feel like her motivation was because she was hurt. She said, "You can sleep in your own bed now." All of a sudden, right? Cool. So now what does Zach do? He's gonna do a one-up. He's gonna call her bluff. All right, cool. If you're saying I shouldn't sleep in a bed, then I don't need to be here then. Let me go to my house. Right? Let me go to my house. Yeah? So now he goes to his house to go and sleep. But another one up. Right? She's going to do another one up. And this one up, she's already said herself, this behavior is not the right way to handle things. She said this earlier on in the season. No one else did. She said it herself specifically. Right? And she's gone and left the house again. Not only left the house, packed her stuff up and gone. Now, when you pack your stuff and up and gone, that tells me you're gone, you're done, you're finished, right? If I leave, and again, I don't agree with Zach leaving. I personally think he's running away from the confrontation rather than dealing with the issue, right? So he runs away, but he doesn't take his stuff. What does it show if I take my stuff? It means I'm done. I'm moving out, which is what she sent a text to him after saying, you know what, I've moved out now, right? And a lot of these reactions that she has is why I say that there's abusive energy in this, right? Because there's almost I'm trying to hurt you in a situation, right? And again, I'm not saying she's the most evil planning person, blah blah, but actually a lot of her moves are calculated. Because that's why she's able to put on the whole facade and you see her as a sweet, innocent girl who can own her mistakes. I put that in bracket, own her mistakes, and then still continue doing what she was doing. Right? So let's watch the bit and I'll talk.
Are we enemies now?
All right, so we get back from the beach volleyball, and I think we have a good time. But now my wife wants to sleep in a separate room. Can you explain why?
I do. So we had a conversation about.
Cool. So they got back from volleyball. They had a good time. They enjoyed themselves. And then they had a conversation after. Okay? Had a conversation after. Now, like I said, if you feel the thing is done, because that's what you're, in a sense, when you de-escalate now, get out of bed, whatever, right? You then had a problem with the fact that when he got frustrated, you couldn't talk to him. They're doing a bit of both. This is la tete now, right? And this is why I said to you, staying in toxic relationships, the mud is thrown on both people, right? Toxicity is not going to be slung on one person. It will reach both parties in the end, which is why you have to end it before it gets to that stage where you start entering into toxicity too, right? Now, I know that Zach is trying to protect himself, and so is Michaela in some sense, right? So now she's going to explain why she decided to have separate beds.
Our decision day and what our decision day answers would potentially be, which as it stands, I would say it's a no for both of us.
Did you hear that? You heard that very correctly, because the argument is not going to start here. Okay, I want you to listen to what she just said. She said, at decision day, it would be a no for both of us. Listen, this is what I'm going to say is why it's abusive, because listen carefully to what she just said. She said it's a no for both of us. Let me just go back so you can't deny what you just heard and as if we didn't hear it, right? Listen to what she said again.
Be, which as it stands, I would say it's a no for both of us. And because of that, I'm just like, if decision day is going to be a no, why even sleep in the same bedroom?
Why are we switching up anything?
And this is why I agreed with Michaela. I said, okay, you know what? I hear you. If decision day is a no, you have the prerogative and the right to say, why are we doing this then? Yeah, if we are not going to go anywhere and it's decision days, both of us are saying no, then we don't need to be sleeping in the same bed anymore, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Right? So, I personally think the reason why that part of that, or let me say even part, let me not say all of it, part of the motivation of saying sleep in a separate bed, partly was, yeah, okay, said no, but I think she was hurt, right? And a bit salty at his no, and then it caused that move, right? But that's cool. It's still cool though, because at the end of the day, you have that right, because he's saying no. So I'm with you at this point, Michaela, right? All right, cool. Let's go.
Why were we talking about it if it's not today? Why were you asking me what if decision day was today? If decision day was today? And you said your answer. I said my answer, and then it was like, oh, okay.
Okay, so now kind of this is a middle ground argument. You know, you're talking about decision day. You said your piece, I said my piece. Situation, copyright. I can't go too long. That's why. So I wanted to kind of just take my time with it a little bit. You get me? All right, cool. Let's go a little bit longer.
Every day you switch up like how you feel. So
did I say I don't know? And what's wrong with that?
No,
I don't have to jump to the conclusion. I don't have to forecast. I literally allow myself.
Okay, so now we're starting to get on touchy ground there, right? So she said, okay, I can change my answer literally any day of the week. I mean, I can change it any time, right? But remember, the argument against Zach was also that he is flaky, which I actually agree. Part of him is flaky, and the reason why he's flaky is because he sees the trouble that he's in, but he's trying to make it work, and then he realizes it doesn't work, and he's trying to hold on, and then it keeps this dirty recycle that you keep going through, trying to hold on to things that you don't need to hold on to. But she's now saying straight up, hey, I can choose and say one day I'm with it, next day I'm not with it, yes, no, and it's going to happen right in front of your eyes. This change that she's talking about, it's going to happen right in front of your eyes, which is why he flips. Listen to what she's going to say. Just listen. Just listen to what she's going to say.
The opportunity to change my mind every day, especially in this situation.
Right. I understand that, but I don't understand why we should sleep in separate rooms right now. I don't get that. That doesn't help anything. That only hurts.
Now, pause. I get that he's hurt about the fact that and he's right, it does hurt, but at the end of the day, sir, you did say you don't see anything further, which is why I'm saying that there's both of them at fault right now, because if you're saying, I get what you're saying, why do we need to change it? But at the end of the day, if you said no, decision day coming, you'll know, and she said no, why would you want to sleep in the same bed like she said? I get that. You know what I'm saying? Again, I want to reiterate that. I totally get that. But also at the same time, if she's saying that no, we both said no, and the bedroom's done, then the relationship's done. That's actually what you're actually saying. What you're actually saying is the reason why I'm kicking out the bedroom is because we're saying the relationship's done. I don't see the future. And he's saying no, I'm not saying that we're trying to go towards there. I'm not even backing his point. What I'm saying is if Michaela's going to run with the narrative that because he said no and she said no, that she's kicking him out the room. She's saying, listen, give me the space for the room, whatever, rah, rah, rah. It's because you're saying the relationship's done. So by all means, yeah, you're going to move out the house because you're done, right? But you've got to disclose that. But you haven't disclosed that. That's the point. Because then it wasn't your motivation that the relationship's done. It was a pulling of a card. You were trying to pull a power move in that moment, right? It was a punishment. It wasn't really about leaving a relationship. It wasn't about the relationship being done, because it should have been done. After you've kicked him out of the room, it's actually a statement to say the relationship's done because you don't see it and I don't see it. Why are we still even here? Let me go about my business. Let me go to my yard. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to my house or whatever, right? Let me go to my house and stay. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? I hope you kind of follow what I mean by this, right? All right, cool.
I don't see why not. How does it hurt? Tell me how it hurts.
Because it's been going great for us, so why are we switching? Why are we switching it up now?
If it's been going great, why did we both say decision day will be a no?
Good point again. I mean, if what I know what Zach is trying to allude to, but it's a good point again by Michaela, right? Which is that, hey, look, he's saying it's been going great, so why are we changing it? And basically what he's saying is it's going forward, it's going some dimensions, we're going in a certain direction. I'm trying here, and then now you're pulling the plug again, right? Because she doesn't believe, obviously, that he's being genuine, or she doesn't feel like he's really pushing, I don't know. But she's pulling the plug now, right? Cool, right? She mentioned her point again. I agree with it. Zach's obviously almost comes across, and Zach is falling into a trap because what he's double-minded, and this is why the Bible says a double-minded man doesn't inherit anything. He's unstable in all his ways because you're trying to think about the fact that if she does one thing, you're out. It's making you unstable because you can't be stable in a relationship because one thing will make you walk, right? You've got one foot out the door basically. But at the same time, you're like, I want to keep trying to see how it'll work. But when you have that mentality, it's unstable, right? I'm just going to keep it real. It's unstable, right? You're making a relationship unstable. Let's do it more.
Because we're not there yet. But it's like, do you not see
it's
like...
not going great.
Yo, do you not see an upward trend? Like, what the...
And it's not going great the way it needs to. But as he's saying, look, we're trying to ascend. We're trying to get to there. Why are we changing that part? Remember, this sleeping in the bed thing only happened just today. They've been rocky up until this point. Only today when they both said, can they see decision day? It's a no at the moment, right? Is this happening? Let's go a little bit forward a bit more. We'll talk it.
I'm literally saying, I don't know now. Like, I told the people, the guys said, I don't know.
You literally today, you said no. You told the guys you don't know.
No,
and that's fine. You can.
There we go, right? So she just said it again. I hope you're hearing it. He said, he told the guys, I don't know, but has told Michaela, no. And this is the problem. Zach, say what you mean. This is a problem. Say what you mean. And this is why it keeps getting twisted and why certain conversations need to stay private as well, right? Say what you mean, because you've said to the guys, I don't know, but said in this conversation with Michaela, as you've admitted, and she has said herself, you said no. So how are you now trying to throw it around and be like, I don't know. You should have said that in the conversation. Why didn't you say that? Why didn't you say that? Right? So all this lack of ability to communicate is causing absolute issues in your relationship. Look, I will always call out Michaela for her behavior, but I've got to be honest, Zach, this is not proper etiquette. You are not going about it the right way, and then you're complaining when you're also you're partly inciting this madness because you haven't been truthful down the line. Is it I don't know, or is it no? You can't say, I told the guys, I don't know. We know you know that you did that. But when you spoke to her one-to-one, you said no, bro. You said no. Right? So this seems a bit like la-tete. What I mean by la-tete, jumping into this, and this situation, not just tit for tat, but this is more of a case of, I felt if you're saying no now, but you said, I don't know to the boys, you are trying to get in. You're trying to say no to protect yourself from being hurt before Michaela says no or hurts you. Or maybe she said no first and you said no as well because you felt a certain type of way, right? But you can't be then complaining and crying about this situation when you said no. Get it together.
Tell them whatever the want, but you told me no.
We both said we would say no. We both said we would say no, correct?
And I said I don't know because I don't want to.
Oh my.
What? When you
Michaela, you just said that you said no. Why did you switch it to I don't know? That's the craziness I'm talking about, right? This is why I said toxicity, no one is free. The mud gets slung on both people. Like, listen, Michaela, I believe is the aggressor abuser, right? But it doesn't make a difference because in this situation, as you stay in it, the longer you stay in it, the more toxicity flows onto you too. And before you realize it, you're acting in toxicity, right? But she already said earlier on, she said no. Right? And here is where the confusion is for both parties. Like I said, he's not being straight, she's not being straight. Here's the confusion, right? About half an hour after, I'll show you the clip. About half an hour after, she's about to go and ask him, so Zach, are you okay? Are you right? Darling, the relationship is done. You said that you don't want to be in the same bed because you both said no. Why are we still talking then? Right? And see how extreme that is when I'm saying why are we still talking? It's extreme, isn't it? Yes, because when you de-escalate, that's what it's going to sound like. That's what it's going to look like. It's going to look like the relationship's done because you said no bedroom. We can't sleep in the same bed anymore. Okay, cool. Why? Because we both said no. Then why are we talking then? Why do we need to talk? Why are you trying to be nice? Because remember, you're saying that we're not going to be in the bed because we both said no. So then why are we still talking? Why do I need to talk? What is there to talk about? You done already said, I can't be in the bed. It's cool. Because we said no, then why do we need to talk? You can't then get annoyed and angry about it and then say I get triggered with my abandonment issues when you have said no and you kicked him out of the bedroom because you felt like he's not gonna, because you felt like it's done. All right.
You asked me. Okay, so Zach went in his diary can, which is fine. But we actually had a conversation. We sat right there at that table, and when pressed about what my answer would be, I said.
His body language is off, but again, and this is why I say to people like, you know, relationships are very difficult, man. You know, and you know when it fails, no one's really the winner. You can only hope that you learn some key lessons, but no one's really the winner when people break up from relationships, right? You only hope that you gain experience and learn and have wisdom at the end of that relationship. But this relationship is going down south, and it's going down south really, really fast, really, really quick, really, really at speed. I mean, again, we'll play a little bit more. I just want to get a little bit further along to this whole situation. Hold on. Did I go past it? I might have done go past it. Hold on, 2 seconds, guys. Oh, no, I've gone past it. Hold on. Sorry. Here we go.
And he literally is ignoring me. Like, he will not talk to me now.
Michaela doesn't want to sleep in the same bed anymore, so I'm just going to go home tonight. I don't really want to be here, and I don't think I should have to be here.
And that's it. No, as we say in Tree, it's done. That's it. It's finished. No. If you've kicked me out of the bed and you said I said no, you're basically saying the thing's done. All right, cool. Then I'm going to my house. I haven't taken my stuff, and I'm going to my house. Right now, I hear what Zach's saying about the fact, and listen, I am ready to smoke Michaela, but Zach, the fact is, you've gone home several times now. Now, don't get twisted. I'm with you about the fact that some of the behavior is abusive, but you've gone home on more than one occasion. We're on the third one, I believe. We're on the third one. And after a while, you've got to take responsibility and accountability. The fact that you keep running away. We're on the third one. So as much as we can talk about Michaela packing up her stuff on the second time, listen, I'm not with it at all. Right? I already know it. I'm not with it at all. And you didn't take your stuff. So I'm hearing you. And I see the pattern of what's happened in terms of the fact that she tried to do a one-up. You then tried to say, you called her bluff and said, I'm going home. And she really went and gone and did what she did. But you still have to take accountability because you've partly been part of this parlay, right? You've been part of this parlay. You've been part of this madness. You know, you could, like I said, you could have slept on the couch. You could have been in the second room, but you want to sleep in your own bed because it's more comfortable. Basically what you're saying is, I feel so hurt by the situation. I'm not going to stick in the room. I'm going to walk away. That is what you've said. That is what you have said. In this instance, and the other instance, the first one that happened, I could actually rock with you. She was being a bit crazy then, and you had to be defending yourself. I hear you. In this instance, don't get it twisted. I think she's been a little bit vindictive. But the truth of the matter is, sir, as soon as the situation got hot, you decided to choose an out rather than stick it out. That is the truth. You decided to not stick it out and go to your house. So now her next action is to blow it up even more. I don't agree with it at all. I don't agree with it at all, right? You know, and the fact is, you know, they had an argument, and you know, maybe she was thinking, you know what? Well, I'll say you can't come into the room, and then you know, after an hour or so, she'll invite him back into the room. But he don't know that. It's why we can't play these games. It's why we can't call these bluffs. It's why we can't do this kind of stuff in relationships, because you don't know. You don't know what the other person's thinking, right? So now, when she then packs up her stuff and leaves, sir, good man, big man. You know, I hear you at the complaint, but I can't really rock with it too tough. You're gonna have to take some smoke about this. Let me fast forward it.
Hey, since you've left the apartment, which is not what I wanted at all, when requesting separate beds, I'm going to go ahead and move out fully tomorrow morning. So she texts me that, and I read it, and I literally like, I was like, there's no.
Again, Michaela knows exactly what she's doing when she does that, right? I think I watched a bit of the Unfiltered. She said she was triggered by him going to his house again, and she had abandonment issues, and she had to pack her bags and leave. Yeah, just because you've explained why you moved doesn't make the thing that you've done right again. You know what I mean? Yeah, we understand that, you know, he went to his house, and I still call him out, and he's wrong for doing that as well, because he's running away from conflict once more again, and it's a problem, okay, because you don't actually deal with issues, all right? But you knew exactly what you were doing when you moved out. I don't care about the season. That's stupid. You know exactly what you were doing when you moved out. You know exactly what you're doing, right? And that's why I said earlier on that even kicking him out the bedroom was the end of. And this now moving out is an end of. When you move out your stuff, it's an end of. But we've seen this twice happen. When you thought he wasn't in the house, you packed up your stuff and left. When he's now left the house, you've packed up your stuff and left. You know? So I can't even call out Michaela more than I can call out Zach on this particular occasion, because at the end of the day, Zach, if you had stayed in the house and she packed up her stuff and left the next morning, I'd have been on her neck. But you went first, and that's a problem, right? I'm with you though. Her behavior's widgy, but you gotta take some stock here, brother. Take some stock here, brother. That's a bit of a madness, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take some stock here that you're avoidant of conflict. We'll talk about some more again, guys, a little bit later. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. Let us know your thoughts down below. Remember, we're on the road to 100K. I want you guys to help me get up to that level, baby. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. I'm interested to see what kind of conversations happen down below.